Hello, fellow stargazers. This is Heidi with Zing Astrology. Thank you for joining me today. Today is Tuesday, October 5th, 2022. And I wanted to talk about the week ahead. Any of you who are big astrology fans have probably already been Googling and seeing a lot of information about how big this month is, astrologically speaking. And of course, that means it's big energy. Finally, Mercury has gone retrograde. We're heading into a full moon in Aries on the 9th. And we have other planets going direct, namely Pluto and Saturn. And also, it's the beginning of the solar eclipse on October 25th. So I wanted to talk mostly just about the week ahead, but just knowing that we have so many shifts and so many changes coming up, so much energy, I feel like it's important to just stick with the week we're in and talk about how our bodies are feeling, our minds, our hearts, and where we're all at together as a collective. I've been noticing a lot of nervous energy and I would say excitement, but then a lot of nervous energy causing anxiety, maybe feeling a push to get things done, a push to rewrite our stories, a push for change, but we're still a little bit shaky. And I did want to talk about, there's so many times it's mentioned when Mercury goes direct that everything's okay and starts flowing again. And I threw out all the years of watching the effects of Mercury retrograde and then Mercury direct. It really is important to remember that Mercury has a shadow period. And when things, planets, the moon, when they change signs, when they're in aspect with another planet, when they go direct, when they go retrograde, the effects of it don't stop on a dime and change. And it's so important to remember that when Mercury goes direct, it's still wobbly and shaky as far as communications go, as far as plans go. We're still wobbly. I think of a toddler, or not a toddler, but a young child on training wheels. And it's still wobbly. Things are still a little screwy. We may not feel all the forward motion we're ready to feel. And all the plans aren't suddenly clear. So it's giving ourselves a little grace for the next week or so, at least, to get stabilized. And, heading into a full moon right after Mercury goes direct is again a lot of energy, and it's in Aries. So Aries brings that fiery energy as well. And we can feel a little shaky, like we know we want to take the initiative, we know we're feeling boundaries that we want to declare, plans that we want to make headway on, and yet perhaps we're still letting go. Perhaps we're still grieving. And grief is not linear, and often energy is not. One day we'll feel so motivated, and the next day we can barely get out of bed. And this is normal at this time. It's the change of seasons. We're right after the fall equinox. The days are getting colder. So we're heading into fall and autumn. We've been in this retrograde season. We've also been in a lot of Libra. And Libra really wants us to strike a balance in our lives, or a harmony. And it's been a little shaky as we try to build to that harmony. And especially in relationships. And that includes the relationship with ourselves. Our relationship with lovers, parents, family members, business partners, colleagues. A lot has come up in the last month of where we want to declare boundaries, what's good for us, how to protect our energy. Are there certain things that are draining us that need to be let go? are there old stories that we're just tired of hearing replay in our minds and then affect our actions? And this month ahead is that time to really try to stay grounded and compassionate towards ourselves. I think that's the biggest takeaway. I feel like people are being really hard on themselves right now. Really high expectations for change, high expectations for rewriting stories. And those things take time. The ego does not die easily. And anything we've been doing that has trapped us or kept us safe or have helped us avoid certain things, those are strong stories, strong ego constructs that take a bit to die. They take a little persistence. They take a little compassion for ourselves, radical self-acceptance, kindness, and tenderness. If it helps to think of yourself as a child and talk to yourself as you would a child, in that tender and understanding way, then that's where we need to go. And as we head into Aries full moon, which does represent the child, and it's a very raw, spring-like, strong energy with the aggression and assertiveness we need to make big changes. However, it can backfire where we project anger or that aggressiveness or assertiveness onto someone else. But if we can harness the Aries energy in a way that brings us back to our autonomy, our ability to make wise decisions for ourselves, our ability to listen to our own wisdom, and then have the passion and that warrior spirit to follow our truth and our authenticity, that's how we would love to channel this Aries energy instead of an aggression or anger or temper or flare-ups, which are very common during a full moon. We all know that it's a time of heightened emotion. But if we can let this Aries full moon energy just embody us, and those places where we have cowered, where we've submitted when we maybe shouldn't have submitted, where we gave in and forgot about our needs so that the other's needs were more of a priority. If we can use that Aries energy to overcome that place where we fold, where we know we deserve more, where we know we need to show up differently. And that's going to be different for each sign according to what house the full moon falls in for you. And again, as we think about Mercury going direct, finally we will get some headway. We will start feeling like communication is a little more clear, and therefore our minds are more clear. And heading into the weekend, surrendering to that Aries energy of, what do I need? Aries represents the I, the identity. And if it means sitting by a fire and screaming and getting anger out, then that's what it means. I love celebrating the fire element and fire signs by either lighting candles or being around a fire and dancing, moving the body, dancing the feelings out, stomping, singing, yelling. If you feel that you're pent up and you need that release. And there's always that ability to channel that warrior energy, not into fighting something or fighting against yourself, but like that saying is to light a fire under yourself, to motivate yourself to take the lead in your career, in your relationships, and those places, as I mentioned before, where you surrendered more than maybe you felt you should have. There's been a lot going on during the Pluto retrograde, and with Pluto going direct this coming weekend. And Pluto is the planet of transformation, sex, shadow, death, and huge, huge change. And there's been so much review as Pluto's been retrograde over those things where we don't have power, where we've lost our power, where power dynamics are unequal or need to be amended in some way. And as Pluto goes direct, a lot of that reflection over the last several months can be put into action along with this Aries moon. So there's just a lot of support to get the power dynamics more in harmony in your life, in your relationships, at work, wherever that may be. And with Aries polarity of Libra and with the sun still being in Libra, it softens that ability to be in relationship, to understand the other person's point of view, to have compassion. This isn't about using that warrior and power energy to put other people down or put them in their place. It's about self-empowerment. It's about understanding the only thing you can control in life is yourself. You're the only one who can make the choices that can change a dynamic. You cannot impress change upon someone else or expect transformative change in someone else. That's something they have to do on their own, but you can change how you react, what you accept, how lovingly you show up, if you have firm boundaries or not. And I recommend the Boundaries book at this time. That'd be a good one. But just learning that self-empowerment never means putting someone else under your power or taking over theirs. So as Pluto comes back into direct motion and Mercury comes back into direct motion, we have this beautiful Aries blood moon, full moon on the 9th. Let's respect our own personal power. Respect the autonomy of someone else. Have compassion for ourselves as we go through these changes, understanding that anxiety is very common right now. And taking that time, I think even more, meditation is important and quietness is important. But I also think just forgiving yourself and allowing the flow of your relationships, those that you are naturally drawn to, those that lift you up, those that bring you light energy, spending more time in the company of the things that bring you grace and peace and make you love yourself more. That's the environments and the people and the places you want to consciously seek out in order to bring balance back to your relationships and to yourself and to your inner being. We are who we hang out with. We are what we eat, what we listen to, what we consume. And we can always ask the universe to help us change those things, to help bring healthy relationships into our life, healthy friendships, healthy work. And what I mean by healthy is good for us mentally, spiritually, and fun and joyous. To be willing to ask for those things and believe that they will appear. I hope you all have a great week. I hope the sky is clear on Sunday and we can all see the beautiful full moon. Take care till next time.